This is stinking awesome. It's 4:30 in the morning. The three of us have not been to bed. Caleb and Destiny came over last night and said, do you want to go to the Kasilof and dip net? Of course we do. So we got in the truck, trailer, load up the Argo. We're here now. We're about to hit the water. You got two. You have a tiny fish in You have the same tiny fish. That's no, that's a halibut. It's a little baby. Okay, throw him out. That is crazy. Come here, buddy. All right, 2 down, 2 minutes. Did you catch?
Pounder. World record right here.
Let's see. Oh, here. Oh, that's a good one. That's a big one. Let's see.
They're out there. I'm getting hit.
All right, go. Here.
Go.
Just kill it right there.
Let's take it.
I don't know what the
Let's go. Nice. Do you have a thing to hold it now? A not proper thing, but still a thing. Woo! What you got there?
Just a couple. Holy moly.
Holy cow. Look at Caleb's fish! Holy cow, that's a big one! I love it! So we think we have, what, 20? We have about 20 fish, and we are heating up. What time is it? We don't even know what time it is. We got here in the 4 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7? So in 3 hours, we've got about 20 salmon. Caleb and I are gonna have coffee. Destiny is gonna have hot cocoa. mix it. We brought the Argo out here because you can drive it on the sand, but it also floats. And every year on this beach, someone loses a vehicle into the ocean. They get it stuck in the mud or whatever. So we just brought the Argo, and then we think we're gonna cruise down the beach a little and see what we can see. We have enough fish for today, so that was exciting. We got it done in a couple hours. We're locked, loaded, ready to go.
Man, look how pretty these fish are.
All right, well, Aaron volunteered. He wasn't forced to clean other people's fish. So we're here. We are gonna clean these salmon real quick, and then we're going to pre-freeze. We've learned with the Avid Armor that if we freeze the fillet before we seal it, that works a little bit better. And so we're gonna get you in here real quick and show you how we clean these salmon.
So I take this is the belly meat off. Let me see the truth. I'll put it right here. Alright, now we take try to get these fins out of my way. Open this up.
Are you saving the eggs?
Probably should. Hopefully we get a good silver season this year. Last year was not good. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh. These opposite side, right? So it's like I almost need a left-handed person to do these. Where's Cody? Do those right off. Piece of already meat. like that, huh? I'm gonna take it, rinse them off real good.
Just put them here. I'll wash them.
Huh? Just gotta get washed real good.
Yeah, show us that one. So there are seals out in the water. So Aaron asked what is happening to these salmon, and right outside of us the whole time there were seals and there were otters everywhere. And obviously these salmon are not just food for us or food for the bears. They're food for everything. Everything's putting on the winter fat right now. So this salmon is super torn up, and whether that's a seal or an otter or whatever it is, they're coming right out of the ocean, and that's also why none of these have any red on them. They're not starting to turn, is they're still in the salt water and they're starting to come up the inlet into whatever river you're fishing at. And so that is, there's another one that has an entire bite taken out of it as well. So it's kind of cruel, but it is what it is. So we won't eat this because of the blood and everything that's in it, but this piece we'll give to the fish, or the fish. We'll give this piece to the chickens.
Give it back to you, buddy. Get your back back.
Does it look like on the other side of that? Yeah, see, the blood is all the way through. So that's chicken food. Okay, our very first trip to Alaska, I caught a king salmon on Fish Creek, and it was a female, so it had eggs. And then the very next salmon we caught was Aaron's king, and it was a male, and I thought this was fat in their belly. This is not fat, but
Look at that fillet.
oh my gosh, that's a nice fish.
Nice fish.
Okay, so 24 pounds, that's awesome. Here is, we always say this, we always say no more processing fish in my kitchen because it makes the whole house smell like fish and it's a ton of work. But it is so sandy where we're at, and there's so much sand on the fish, and even though we rinse them, change out the ice in the water, there's still a little bit sand on the skin. And so I do want to do a second rinse here inside. Nice running water, and it's not so cold in the hose. And then I'm gonna do a final cleanup on the fish. We're gonna get them in bags. Okay, so just one fish at a time. I just want to make sure it's really, really clean. And then pop over here. I'm doing all of it on the sink. This drain board sink is amazing for it. And so I just look for anything Aaron missed. Like this is a fatty part of the spine. And like that's part of a fin. So I'm just kind of squaring up the fish. Because we often give this to like family or friends, and we just want it to be really beautiful. Okay, and then the other thing we do is we don't save a lot of big fillets like this unless it was a silver salmon, and that we might process a little bit different. So I'm gonna cut it about in half, and so each fish is gonna give us 4 fillets. So same process here. There's a icky little bit there. Squaring that up. I'm going to take this off. There's no need for that. See what's going on here. Looks pretty good. And there we time to turn that fresh caught salmon into dinner. So for that, we're in the garden. Let's grab some salad, see what else we can find. So some of my radishes, they're going to seed instead of developing the radish. So great free chicken food, but any of the radishes that I can just clip off and save will make for dinner. The star of the show is going to be strawberries. And look, they're ripe. All right, when I saw this recommended recipe come across, I personally like sweet and heat with my salmon, and it was a balsamic strawberry glazed salmon. Well, I have all of these strawberries that we just picked literally seconds ago. I knew that they were ripe and that it was coming up time, and I so happen to have the fresh salmon. So I thought, yep, that's it. That's the recipe we're gonna make. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is wash up the strawberries and get that part of the dinner going, and then we'll make the salad on the side. This was a gift from one of the viewers, and she's like, yay, it comes in, and I'm like, comes into use, and I'm like, every day in the summer, as we harvest, this thing is coming into use. So the recipe is super simple. It calls for 6 to 8 large strawberries. So we'll just take the tops off and dice up a couple of these. Okay, so the recipe says to put the strawberries in a saucepan, and we're going to cook these down for a few minutes. And then it says to use a shallot. I don't have a shallot, but I do have these onions I just pulled out. So similar enough flavor profile. I just pulled these straight out of the garden. They're super, super fresh, super fragrant. And I can't imagine anything better. So we're gonna cook down with the strawberries. So those two, it says put in the, start coming up to temp before we add the vinegar. It calls for 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, but we're actually going to use honey. Aaron and I are trying a little bit to back off of the sugar, but I have 0 problem. So this is some Azure honey. Just a good amount. Those colors, beautiful. in the meantime, we're gonna preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Now that that has come up, it's at a rolling boil, starting to cook down. We want to go ahead and add in the balsamic, about 3/4 of a cup. We're gonna let this simmer for 5 to 7 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna get the salmon ready. Over here, we have a lined baking sheet and we have some parchment. We want, it says the edges curled up so the sauce will stay in. Okay, and then our fresh Alaska red salmon. I have completely deboned, pulled everything, and cleaned this fillet. Right, the oven is preheated. We're gonna deal with this beautiful salmon here. We are gonna do a little bit of, this is an avocado oil. I'm gonna do it on the front and on the skin. It's perfect. And then season it with salt and pepper. Salmon is a really fatty fish that has deep, robust flavor as far as fishes go. And it can really stand up and it can really handle a lot of seasonings and different things. Whereas the more mild white fishes would kind of struggle to stand up against something like a balsamic vinegar and a bunch of like pepper and all those different things. So that's one of my favorite parts about cooking salmon. So a good amount of salt and pepper, and then half of the balsamic mixture. And we're gonna save the other half to glaze on there. And then 15 to 18 minutes, depending on the thickness of your salmon. So we're gonna pop this in the oven. In the meantime, we are gonna make another side dish, which is gonna be kind of some wilted spinach. And I don't know if this is a recipe as much as it's like a method. This is Erin's home smoked bacon that I popped out of the freezer. This is the last little bag that we have of it. I'm gonna save the rest of it for breakfast, and I'm gonna use those little baby zucchinis, which, you know, normally you wouldn't pick them, you'd let them get really big, but I love it when they're tiny like that with eggs and bacon and all of those things in the morning. But for the wilted spinach, I just have a few slices of this home cured smoked bacon, and I'm gonna get it going on a small pan here. While the bacon's going, I'm gonna run my knife through some more of these green onions. Some are gonna go in with the bacon and the spinach, and some will be for the salad topping. And yeah, the flavor really does change when you cook down. And because it's in the salmon, it's in the spinach, and each is gonna have its own unique flavor profile. It really will taste different, but it is similar or same ingredients. He's the cutest thing. So our broccoli is strange. I had to learn this last year. It just grows all along the stem, almost like a Brussels sprout would do. And last year I left it thinking that what would happen would I would be able to harvest all of it at once and freeze it. It bolted. We barely got any. So this year, I'm just convinced when it's ready to go, we're pulling it in and eating it. And anything that we can pop in the freezer, kind of save for later, whether that's going to be canning or freeze drying or whatever the different methods are, we'll do that. But even if it's this little tiny pile of broccoli, divide it out into a couple of really big, robust salads. That is an amazing addition. And it's also super sweet. Okay, the bacon is done. The salmon timer is about to go off. So to the bacon, we're gonna add most of those green onions, or a good chunk of them anyway. Season with salt and pepper. To this, these are a local company that makes homemade vinegars. Now this is a raw, shut it off, a raw rhubarb wine. Okay, so little vinegar, whoo, comes right up the nostrils. There we go, give that just a second. Hello, hello. Over here, we're just gonna use a little garlic butter and toast up some of our homemade einkorn sourdough. This is all that's left. I've got the sourdough fed. Come in.
Want bugs?
Oh my gosh. Are they alive? Are they moving around?
No, I bought the dead pack.
Let's go put those in the garden after dinner. The salmon's done. I'm just twisting this up.
Nothing.
We're gonna have an interesting day. Someone ran into the front of a Wells Fargo and smashed it in 4 or 5 inches. Anyway, here's our farm fresh spinach going in. It'll just wilt down. That's the perfect side dish. Right. Look at that. All right, you want some lettuce?
Oh, sure.
Salad? Wyatt?
Oh, sure.
Here's some salad toppings. It's supposed to be a strawberry salad, but I didn't know if you wanted that on there, and so I left the strawberries separate.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
That was out of our yard.
Mm-hmm. You grew them.
With all this
I grew all of that.
broccoli was harvested a little premature.
No, it was harvested perfectly on time by me today. Do you want some feta?
Sometimes, yes.
Why do you want some feta?
Oh, sure.
There you go, buddy.
What?
Oh, sure.
All right, the salmon looks just, I put the rest of the glaze on it. It broke apart. It's already coming off of the skin. Wyatt? Oh, sure.
It'll take a little bit.
Here, Aaron.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. Ready? Whoops. Put your plate over here. There you go. Right?
Got it.
All right. How is it?
Really good. Probably some of the best fish I've ever eaten. For real?
You actually can taste the strawberry in it. That's good. So, I ground the einkorn for the sourdough. We wild caught this salmon. I grew all of the vegetables, and then you smoked the bacon that I used. I'm actually pretty proud of this meal.
Us Millis's, we're pretty handy. Right, Wyatt?
Yup.
The spinach is really, really good. All right, those of you that don't know, we are having a bug issue in this greenhouse. They haven't jumped over to the, did you kill one?
A couple of them.
Aaron, my amazing husband went and grabbed me 2 packages. There's about 1,500 ladybugs per package.
Not no more, 1,400.
1,400 and 997. Okay, so he is cutting them open, and we are gonna start. Let me see some.
Man, I didn't want them bugs getting out.
No, they don't want an escape.
I see that.
Oh, look. How cute are those? So there's so much food for them in here. We're gonna let them go, and hopefully it says ladybugs will eat many times their weight. Give them just a second, but most of them need to go on the peppers. Ladybug, ladybug, fly away home. That's a horrible nursery rhyme. I don't think you're doing any of it right. Down here, here's the worst aphid damages these peppers. Do they fall out when you do that?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Let me watch.
Look at them all up there on my arm.
Oh, they're starting to curl out, huh? Look at these. What are those white spots? Okay, so we're in the other greenhouse. We don't have any damage that we're noticing. However, we'd like to get ahead of the problem because of the risk of whatever's in the other greenhouse moving along. There's a couple little holes here and there on the peppers, but nothing like the other greenhouse. So we're gonna do a little bit. Oh, hand me that thing and I'll put that in the garden. Oh. Look at that. It's a crazy feeling. I don't know why I let you put them in my hand.
It's funny you asked. Okay. There you go, girl.
In there.
Right.
All right, so these are gonna go in the one bug area that I saw in the garden. we had the side vents open. These are screens. The ladybugs won't get through there. They can obviously crawl underneath the greenhouse, which is how the bugs get there in there in the first place. But I did close the sides for the evening in hopes that the ladybugs will find a little place to hide and get to eat, and especially in that greenhouse. And then we put them amongst the plants in the garden. That only one thing of lettuce kind of has a couple of bug bites on it, so we made sure and put them in those areas, and then went ahead and closed the sides on this greenhouse as well. We will have to open those back up here shortly because we need the airflow underneath the tomatoes and everything to keep from creating more problems from mold and mildew and those things that can attack the tomatoes and whatnot. The tomatoes and everything are looking really, really excellent, and I will keep you posted on how the bugs are working out. All right, we are down here in our long-term or food storage area, and we have what is better known as a fish freezer. And what happened is we had this great big chest freezer that we brought from Arizona with us, and then we got these two smaller ones. One completely holds all of the chickens that we raise here on the homestead so that it's organized and it's easy to get to. And then fish has a fishy scent and odor to it, and so it is great. We keep all of the fish in this freezer, even if it's bait fish or the containers that we stick all the bait fish in when we go ice fishing or so on. So long story short, we were completely out of salmon until this fishing trip. I'm going to show you our fish freezer, and then we're going to seal up the salmon. I don't know why with my sealer it just works better if the salmon is pre-frozen. We just had a lot of problems with it. We tried that. That's what some other people said to do, and it is what works best. So what's in this freezer? So this is what we're talking about. These are bait fish. They're expensive, so we have some other things. So these are salmon eggs that need to be cured. And then down here is all of the hooligan that our son dip netted. If you haven't seen, I'll try and link the video if you haven't seen it, but he dip net all of this hooligan, and it is taking up a massive amount of space in this freezer. And then we have the trays of the salmon. And then the last thing we have, so all of that is hooligan, so that's all bait fish. And then we just have probably 10, 15 packs of halibut or cod left over here. All right, so I have my sealer set up. You can see each fish is frozen, and we're gonna just work quickly. I have a marker because I am going to date all of these bags. I didn't do it while I was trying to put the fish in because I was trying to keep one hand dry and one hand in the fish, and it's all a thing, so. And now that is a perfectly sealed piece of fish. Simply put the date. And then I cleared all of the halibut and cod. I moved them up top. I'm going to start putting the salmon in the freezer. All right, we got all of it done. So as you can see here, I moved the halibut up, and then this is all salmon. So a little bit of halibut there, and then bait fish. There's still plenty of freezer space. And there we have it. What an incredible gift the fish are, and we feel amazingly blessed every single time that we can bring this food home into our homestead and our family, and it is the very best. It doesn't get any better, it doesn't get any fresher, it doesn't get any cheaper than catching it and processing it and storing it for ourselves in the upcoming summer, fall, winter, all of the seasons ahead. So we are super excited. We would love to continue to share our journey of modern homesteading here in Alaska with you guys. And the way that we can do that is, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. If you ring the bell, you'll get notifications and you won't miss anything that we're doing around here. We look forward to sharing our mini adventures with you. And with that, I hope that you're blessed. I hope you find something to be grateful for, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.